Hey, Sojourn Galleria family. As this resurgence happens with Corona, and we were beginning to get things out to you about a covenant member meeting and other possibilities about meeting together in a space that we've been afforded for the summer. Just wanted to get an announcement out that made things clear and reassured you about some things. So the first thing is we're just as the state of Texas is and the governor in our state are rolling things back as they've rolled things out. They're sort of saying, okay, resurgence, let's press pause on this and close some things and be safe. We're doing the same thing. The watchword for us is really just we're not going to do anything new right now. And we're going to keep doing what we're doing with caution, obviously, as safely as we can. And we're going to keep things online for those that don't want to come out at all or be with people. But we're going to stay in small groups. That includes Sundays, and for the parishes that are meeting as well. Ours is sort of compressed into one gathering right now. That'll change soon, possibly, but we're meeting on our front lawn. The two things that we sort of had either rolled out or begun to roll out were we had a covenant member meeting this coming Wednesday, July 1st. That's to be determined right now. We're probably going to cancel it just for safety's sake. We will let you know about that, but keep that on your calendar for next Wednesday evening. For now in pencil, but we will let you know Monday about that for sure. And the other thing is July 12th, we've been given by God's grace just a great big space, nice and comfortable inside to meet in. And so we had planned on July 12th being the first Sunday evening, maybe around 5 p.m., where we were going to all gather together. That may or may not happen. Do put that on your calendar. We'll get more information to you about that as well, but that's also paused. And right now we're going to keep doing what we're doing safely and in small gatherings, house church style. We're still trying to push things down to you, the saints. We're still trying to fellowship, but wisely. We don't recommend just staying cloistered in your home. Wear a mask if that's appropriate. Use hand sanitizer. Be smart if you're sick. Stay home. All that stuff that we always say, but don't forsake the assembling of yourselves together completely. It's not good for you. There are a lot of other health drawbacks to doing that. I think that it's better to be safe and continue to meet together, but wisely. But for those of you who don't want to, we respect that, and we say we've got everything online. We've got a lot. So all that said, we're hitting pause, and we're going to keep you posted on sort of what's next. But I just want to say, so that's sort of practicals, and hey, we're being cautious, and we're playing the long game here. But we're not pausing on being the church. We're not pausing on being the church on mission, God's family here in this Galleria area. We're not pausing on reaching our neighbors for Christ, even though social distancing is the way you can love your neighbor right now in large part. We have neighbors coming front yard at 9 a.m. to our place to worship, and people that never would have otherwise, and they're regulars by now. I know the elders are the same. We have a guy that wants to go through the Sojourn Houston residency and is in that process now, and he's over by the Turkish mosque where we had that multi-faith talk at the Beltway in 59. That's where he lives. He's been there for 3 years. He works for one of our partners right now. He wants to plant a church, and he's starting a house church under our shepherding and with our help, and we're encouraging him to reach his neighbors, and he's starting to do that. So that's awesome. That's started to happen. The Bakers, Austin and Lauren, haven't started yet. They've done a bit of front yard house church in the past, and they may in the future as well. We've got some friends out in San Diego that are probably going to start a house church, and that are going to use the resources that we have online, hopefully to help them. So it's there for you. We want, if you're available to host and want to be a gathering spot for corporate worship in a wise way, even during this time, to be a place for the saints to gather and to reach out to those around you with the love of Christ, whether they're Christians and they just can't go to a place and they want a small gathering or not. We want to resource you. We want to encourage you. We want to help you. So that's that. And we've also got not just fruit and multiplication in small ways, corporately in small groups in front yards and such. We also have some of that going on with one-on-one discipling and 1-on-2 and 3 and 4 and 5 discipling. There's a guy in my anchor group that is going through a really hard time, the hardest time of anyone I know in our church right now. God's putting him through the grinder, but he's holding his hand. He's He's deep in the Word every day. He's clinging to Christ. He's growing like a weed. And he has started to, he's had some military buddies that have started to reach out to him, and he's taken them through a Bible study. And so it's no wonder that Satan's attacking him right now. And he's seeing them ask all sorts of questions. He's preaching the gospel to them, and they're like, man, I've never heard this before, even though I've been in church all my life. And a lot of them are burned by the church. And so, but they're military, and he's military. And so he's reaching them in a way that I couldn't, that people in our church could not. And so that's what we are seeing. We're seeing fruit. We're seeing multiplication corporately in small groups and then individually as well. We're seeing people start to disciple people. We're seeing disciples start to make disciples. I'm doing a John Bible study with a guy that's seen me meet in anchor groups at Buffalo Grill before, and we're walking through John together, and it's been beautiful to see Christ pull him in. So there's no pause button on being the church. There's no pause button on being the church on mission. And so as we walk through the book of Acts, that should be very apparent. There's persecution all over the place, and the persecution causes the church to continue to go out in power. And this week we're looking at Philip as he runs out into the desert and meets this Ethiopian eunuch that God has arranged a date with him for Philip to proclaim Christ to him. So this is our story. We're part of that story until Christ returns. We're part of that family, and man, it's beautiful. And so I just want to encourage you as well as give you just a few of those updates, and just know that you'll be getting more of these, especially as things spike and they come back. We are starting to come out more. We had plans to get together all together in this big space and worship together, and we still do. And we have plans for Friday night worship and ministry gatherings, and but we're going to press pause on that. There will be a time for that, and we want to do it at the appropriate time. And so we want to be wise and prayerful, but we also want to put a value on continuing to meet as saints in a wise way, because that's really important for our souls. So we're seeing little fruit. We want to equip you, the saints, to do the work of the ministry, and to make disciples who are making disciples. And we want you to be plowing into God's word and holding each other accountable and staying in touch and praying together. And we have a little Zoom parish that's probably going to start soon, a little Zoom anchor group for those that are still not quite comfortable being outside their house. And we just want to encourage each of you to get, if you're not in an anchor group, continue your anchor groups. If you're in an anchor group, if you're not in an anchor group, get in one. Talk to me, talk to Merrill, talk to Justin about that. Talk to your parish leader first and foremost, and then they can come speak to us if need be. But let them help you. Let us help you to plug into a single-sex group of 3 to 5 people who can walk with you and get in the Word with you and pray with you and know you and you can know them. And walk together. It's more important than ever during this time of isolation and questioning and fear. So we are not called to fear, but to love. And so love you guys, and there will be more coming this next week, and just expect more of this kind of thing, especially as we can't meet, especially as we might not even have a covenant member meeting. We will be getting information to you. Love you guys.